back with another mega movie haul for you all. This is for the month of June. So I'm going to show you all right now all the 4Ks, Blu-rays, slipcovers, steelbooks, boutique labels, you name it that I got for the entire month right now. So let me go through my piles here. Got a lot to go through, so I'm only going to say a little bit about each film. So first up, no particular order, we got Vanilla Sky starring Tom Cruise. You also got Penelope Cruz and Drew Barrymore. Very psychological thriller kind of movie. Very, very trippy, bizarre ending. If you like that style of movie, you're going to love this one. I was pretty impressed with it. Next up, another Tom Cruise movie. The Cruise don't stop on this channel, of course, because we got The Firm. Yes, Tom Cruise as a lawyer in the movie, and you think it's just kind of a typical movie, but the firm he gets involved in is very shady, and then of course the psychological thrilliness ensues. But really enjoyed this movie too. Between this one and Vanilla Sky, I'd probably pick The Firm. Alright, next up, we got TV show collection here, Mickey and Minnie, 10 classic shorts. Yeah, you're going to breeze through this super quickly. There's not a whole lot here, but if you're into classic cartoons, you're a big Disney fan, it's kind of cool to check out the timeline with these characters. All right, next up, ooh, another TV series, and we got Birds of Prey. Yes, I did not know this was a TV series till somebody mentioned it. I believe it was Bin Buster, but this is a cool looking shiny slipcover, and I went through this whole series. There's not many episodes here, but I enjoyed it overall. It's an early 2000 series. You got three main actresses in the role with Huntress and Oracle, and also another character that's a metahuman. But it gave me Charmed vibes because once again, you got three ladies fighting against the evils out there, but in the superhero genre. So overall, really enjoyed this one. All right, next up. Ooh, we got to get into some Disney titles because I did sign up for Disney Movie Club this last month, so I picked up a handful of titles. So I got Watcher in the Woods, first time watching this one. Very creepy atmosphere, definitely a lot darker of a Disney movie than I was expecting. So I did enjoy this one overall. Alright, next up, ooh, just a beloved classic of mine. I loved watching this one growing up and still watch it to this day, but happy to have the Blu-ray now, and that is Holes. To me, this movie is perfect in every way. Has a great soundtrack, a great cast of characters, just a really fun, interesting story, a little bit of a Western vibe in there, but an all-around great family movie. Highly recommend this one. Alright, next up, another great one from my childhood, and that's a Goofy movie. Finally got this one on Blu-ray. What can I say? This is just a fun time. Once again, another great soundtrack. Alright, next up, a one that was a first watch for me was Something Wicked This Way Comes. Now, I have to rewatch this one again. I don't know if I just wasn't in the right mood for it, but I wasn't really connecting with it. It's a little bit darker tale for a Disney movie as well. But yeah, definitely needs a rewatch from me. All right, next up, another one I loved from my childhood, finally have it on Blu-ray, is The Black Cauldron. This movie doesn't get enough respect out there, not enough people talk about it, but I love the dark fantasy story here with all these characters. I mean, the little dog is just so adorable there, and then of course you got an awesome villain that just looks so cool. So I really like this one if you're into fantasy adventure animation. All right, next up, well, speaking of animation, one I didn't think I was going to get, but got on the Target sale, and that is the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which overall I did enjoy the pickup on this one, because even though I didn't love the movie, I still had to get it for the wifey, but I really like the special features on here. You just get all the cast members and more talking about the movie, their perspective growing up with Mario, and that was just so cool. It's worth it for that alone. All right, next up. Ooh, one that was on a great deal that Huck from Huck's Pop Culture Cafe shouted out was Wildcats. I think I got this one for like $6. It stars Goldie Hawn. Just a great classic sports kind of movie. Very inspirational. But of course, you know the story here. She leads this team of footballers just to winning some amazing games out there. So I really like this one overall, but I'm a sucker for sports stories. All right, next up, because of my Michael Keaton stream, I got some Keaton movies here. We got the new RoboCop. I do think this one gets unfairly hated just because the original is so beloved by so many. And I do love the original, of course, but for a remake, I'll say this isn't too bad. And Michael Keaton is great in the movie. All right, next up, a Michael Keaton movie that was a first time watch for me, but I loved it, was The Paper. Yes, Michael Keaton's character is just so neurotic in this movie and is all over the place and needs to get this to the print on time, ready to go. I mean, it's just very intense in that way. But I love this, retro VHS cover from Mill Creek. Very, very cool style and pretty cheap as well. All right, next up, we got the other guys because Michael Keaton has a small role in here as a chief of police, I believe. But this movie is just so hilarious. You got Will Ferrell and of course Marky Mark. I love this movie. I think it's very underrated. For a 2000 comedy, I was just laughing hysterically. So funny. All right, next up, another great Michael Keaton movie, and that is The Founder. Yes, the story of McDonald's and how the evil Croc basically does the McDonald's brothers wrong, right? But yeah, it's very intriguing, interesting story. I'm a sucker for kind of business movies like this, and Michael Keaton is just so good and terrifying in the role. So great villain in here. All right, next up. Ooh, yes, this steelbook came in a little bit later than I was expecting, but I'm happy I got it. And we gotta have Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive. First time watching this one. You got Emilio Estevez in there, and it was just a fun movie. You got all this vehicle mayhem, these vehicles going after these people, and all this technology just going haywire. I just really like that kind of style of a movie. It's just kind of like, oh gosh, what would happen if technology took over? You know what? I think this movie could probably be remade today with updated technology. I think that'd be cool. But I just love the front cover. Of course, the Greek Green Goblin villain mask just captured my attention, and I had to pick it up for that. But a beautiful, gorgeous steelbook overall, and a very fun movie. All right, next up, another first time watch from me. This is from Scream Factory here. We got The People Under the Stairs, directed by Wes Craven. I thought this movie was really good, very creepy and atmospheric. Definitely some horrific moments, but some amazing social commentary that probably still is relevant to this day. So, yeah, and really cool front cover too. I love that theatrical poster artwork. Very nice. All right. Ooh, another steelbook I did like, and just a great action movie. Of course, we got to have a cliffhanger in here, and this stars, of course, Sylvester Stallone. This movie was very thrilling to me. I love, of course, the environments and the snowy mountains. Just some really intense and brutal sequences. It got a little bit more bloody and gory than I was expecting. But yeah, really enjoyed Cliffhanger overall, and of course, the steelbook came with that Dolby Vision on the disc, so I did get that, which was so nice. Really happy to see that. Looked gorgeous. All right, now to get into our second pile here. And this one I haven't watched at home yet, but I saw it in theaters, and that was Avatar: The Way of Water, and I really enjoyed my theater experience for this one. I saw it IMAX 3D, so I felt like I was swimming with the fishies out there in Pandora. So I thought it was just a really cool experience, which just made it one of my favorite movies of the year. And I do think it's an improvement over the first one. The story does get a little bit more better and entertaining, and so I like it. They improved everything on the first one, so if you love the first one, you're gonna love Avatar: The Way of Water. But we'll be kind of curious to see how it keeps up at home. All right, next up, since we got Way of Water, now the first one also came out on 4K. Finally, we've been waiting forever. But I love the slipcover. The white background is so cool. It just stands out really with the A and the characters right there and the creatures. But I do like this one overall. Once again, I'm an Avatar fan in a way, not a massive fan, but I enjoyed seeing this movie in the theaters. But it's been so long since I watched this one because it came out, what, over a decade ago? So I'm going to be happy to double feature this one with Way of Water again, see how this one still holds up. But I do remember my memories of this one. Dances of Wolves in Space. What can you say? That's always a good story. But you get it, sci-fi, right? So why not? Why not? I don't think that's a terrible idea. All right, next up, a movie collection here, and we gotta have the Mission Impossible 6 movie 4K collection. I finally watched this entire franchise. They were all first time watches for me, believe it or not. And I really enjoyed all the Mission Impossible movies in here. There's not a bad one in the bunch. They're great action spy thrillers. Tom Cruise is so good in the movie, and all the supporting cast. But you know what? You know what my favorite was? A lot of people don't say this one. I think number 3 was my favorite just because Philip Seymour Hoffman was such a great villain. I just love the banter back and forth, so really like that one, but they're all great. All right, next up, ooh, some more steelbooks here. And of course, we got to have that Insidious steelbook, directed by James Wan. This was a first time watch for me. Very creepy, atmospheric. If you love horror possession movies, to me, this is one of the best. And this is PG-13, but it still totally terrifies you. So, really, really cool. Really like that steelbook. All right, next up, oh yes, another steelbook. I got this in the Target sale, which is why I picked it up. I didn't think I was ever going to get this one. But we got Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I'm just getting prepped for Dial of Destiny. And it's been so long since I watched this one. I was happy to rewatch it. And you know what? This is overall a well-filmed movie. I will say that. Of course, you got Steven Spielberg doing it. So you know there's going to be some quality there. Yeah, there's a couple scenes in there that make you question things like nuking the fridge. Yeah, that was outrageous. And then it gets too sci-fi for me with all the alien stuff. If they kept it non-sci-fi and just kind of, historical adventure action, I think it could have worked really well because everybody's really talented in this movie. So they had something going, they had some potential, just didn't land on the execution of it all. But still better than I remembered. I will give it that. All right, next up, yes, some more steelbooks, of course. And finally picked up these steelbooks in the Target sale. And we got Jumanji, the next level. I really like these Jumanji movies. I just love how they update the Jumanji board game idea, but now with video games. I think it makes sense for modern time. And all the cast members are so great. I mean, Jack Black is just amazing in these movies. But everybody just great. Kevin Hart, The Rock. I mean, just everybody's fantastic in these movies. All right, and then of course, if I got the next level, I got the steelbook of the first one finally. Once again, I like both of them. I will say I prefer the first one compared to the next level, but they both are great. Both are great. I love the environments. Once again, I love the story premise idea, and the cast members give it their all, so I do appreciate that. All right, next up, once again, another one in the Target sale. Got Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, and this is one of the best physical media releases of the year, in my opinion. Not only does it look and sound great with that 4K quality, I just love this movie overall. If you love fantasy adventure, you get all of that in here. You get some great comedy. You don't need to know the game itself to really enjoy the movie. Just the cast members do a fantastic job, and the special features, tons and tons of special features in here, and they're just great. I love this. I love this release. It's so good. It's so good. All right. Next up. Ooh, finally a movie I picked up. I waited on the longest time, so I didn't get the slipcover. But how to add Hook to my collection. Of course, you got Robin Williams in the movie, but all the cast is great here. And, it just brings back childhood memories, the fantasy adventureness to all of it, but kind of a twist on the Peter Pan story. And just to see how, right, when you grow up, sometimes you get overwhelmed with work and you're all about business, but you got to remember to spend time with the family, of course, and all that. And it comes full circle by the end of it. And of course, the character learns a lot. But yeah, just overall, had to add it to the collection at this point. But wish I got the Slippy on it. So sad I didn't. All right, next up, another steelbook. This was another Target sale one. And so we got Uncharted. Yes, I'm a big fan of this video game franchise. Now, in terms of the movie itself, I thought it was decent. It's a decent starting point. I wanted it more like the game, but I hope the sequel is more like the game. Now, this Steelbook edition was a little bit more pricey, but that's because it did come with this, so I gotta show it off. It did come with the ring necklace that Nathan Drake wears, which is kind of cool. I like that little addition. Don't know if it's worth the price increase, but it's still kind of nice to get stuff like that. So why not? I'll take it. All right. Oh, a really nice steelbook. This is another great physical release of the year. And that's, of course, going to be John Wick Chapter 4. I love this whole entire franchise. The artwork in this steelbook looks gorgeous. Great looking on 4K. Sounds awesome as well. Just a really solid movie overall. Not my favorite out of the franchise, but a solid entry nonetheless. And the special features, once again, are really, really good. So, great physical pickup. Highly, highly recommend. I mean, Lionsgate just always does a wonderful job with those stills. All right, next up. Yes, this one I got on a discount. That's why I finally picked it up. Happy it still came with the slip. And that is Legion of Superheroes. You know, I'm a big DC superhero fan. I do like the DC animated movies overall. Now, a lot of them are mediocre mid range. I will say this one definitely falls into that. The animation is very wonky. The story is okay overall. Some of the characters are cool. So I can't highly recommend, but if you're a DC animated fan, you kind of know what you get with these ones at this point. So you got to take it for what it is. All right, now I promise you guys that special little bonus of something else I got through collecting here. So because I joined the Disney Movie Club, right? Join the Disney Movie Club, they actually give you a couple lithographs. And actually, not only that, because I did get the Avatar movies, I got both of them. They threw in a lithograph for that. So let's show that one first. So we actually got Avatar, The Way of Water lithograph, which is just kind of cool to have, you know? Why not? Why not have something like that? I'll take it. I'll take it for the collection. All right, and then we got a couple other lithographs. Now, these ones I didn't get to choose. They just randomly threw some in there, I guess, to kind of get you hooked on lithographs, I guess. But we got a Mulan one, which, you know, it's very shiny once again. Didn't love the movie, though. But yeah, I mean the lithograph's cool, so why not? I'll take it. Freebie, I'll definitely take it. All right. This one actually was kind of cool that they threw in, because I am a fan of this franchise overall, and that's gonna be Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, that is definitely not the movie choice out of that franchise I would have gone with. I would have gone with, of course, the first one, Curse of the Black Pearl. But I'll still take it. Why not? Once again, another freebie. You can't complain too much there. But there we go. That's everything I picked up in the month of June. A lot more than I expected. A lot more that just really enticed me with deals and discounts and sales. And I just couldn't resist some of these steelbooks. They were just too awesome looking. But there we go. Now it's all your turn. Let me know in the comments below. What were some favorite titles that I showed off right now in my collection? What were some you picked up that you recommend I take a look at? Let's have some fun movie conversations down below. And if you love collecting physical media just like me, make sure you subscribe right now. That way I can keep you entertained and up to date on all the latest physical media topics. Woohoo! And if you enjoy these physical media topics, check out another one right now. And thank you so much, my mega membership supporters.